Everything Meech and Terry built is hanging by a thread. Enemies are closing in, loyalties are breaking, and blood is being spilled like never before. If you thought the last episode brought the heat, episode 8 might burn everything to the ground. One wrong move, and the whole BMF empire could fall apart. Episode 7 was intense from start to finish. It didn't just move the story forward, it changed the game. We saw Meech trying to take his business to the next level, but that came with a price. Trust is fading inside the crew. Terry is starting to question if Meech really has a plan, or if they're just flying blind and headed straight for disaster. That quiet tension between the brothers, it's growing louder, and it's becoming clear that not everyone will make it to the end with their hands clean or even alive. The episode opened with Meech pushing deeper into Atlanta, chasing expansion, while trying to hold Detroit down at the same time. But moving into cities at once isn't just risky, it's dangerous. His enemies in Detroit aren't sleeping. In fact, some are waking up hungry to take his place. And with law enforcement cracking down harder, especially with Detective Bryant getting more desperate, the walls are closing in. Bryant may be on suspension, but he's still moving in the background, bending the rules, and trying to trap Meech once and for all. We also saw some tension building between Terry and his longtime girlfriend Markeisha. She's not happy with the direction things are going. Her fears aren't just emotional, she sees the chaos coming before it hits. Terry's starting to realize that the game they're in isn't just about power and money. It's about survival, and not everyone close to them is built for that life. He's caught between the business, his brother, and his own future. Meanwhile, Charles and Lucille's situation at home has reached its breaking point. Their marriage is in pieces, and the stress of what's happening with their sons is only making it worse. Lucille's faith is strong, but even that has limits. Charles is drowning in regret, but the damage is done. This family isn't just being tested, they're being torn apart. Let's not forget about Lamar. Even though he's been out of the picture lately, his presence still lingers over everything. Everyone in the city knows what he's capable of, and in a world like this, just because someone disappears doesn't mean they're gone. People like Lamar don't vanish, they wait, they plan. They come back. And finally, the end of the episode dropped a huge bomb. A surprise visit from a face Meech wasn't expecting. That last moment had fans buzzing. Was it a rival, a ghost from the past, or maybe someone with the power to flip the entire story? One thing's for sure, episode 8 is about to pick up where that cliffhanger left off, and it's not going to slow down. Episode 7 didn't just set the stage, it lit the fuse. And now in episode 8, everything is ready to explode. As we head into episode 8, the stakes are higher than they've ever been. Every major character is standing at a crossroads, and the choices they make next could decide whether they rise, fall, or die trying. Let's start with Meech. Right now, he's got one foot in Detroit and the other in Atlanta, trying to grow the BMF brand coast to coast. But Meech is learning fast that running an empire into cities isn't just hard, it's almost impossible. His enemies are multiplying, and even some of his closest allies are starting to question his leadership. Meech has always been a visionary. He sees the bigger picture, but that big picture comes with big risks. If episode 8 shows us anything, it might be that Meech is biting off more than even he can chew. There's also a sense that Meech is starting to feel invincible. He's pulled off big moves before, and he's survived things most people wouldn't, but that confidence can be dangerous. Episode 7 already showed cracks in his operation, mistakes being made, pressure building. Episode 8 could be the moment where reality hits, where Meech realizes that every decision he makes has a cost. And some costs you don't pay with money, you pay with blood. Then there's Terry, Meech's brother and partner. Terry is in a very different headspace. He's still about the business, but he's also looking for a way out, or at least a way to do things smarter. He wants to protect his family, especially his son. But being involved with Meech means he's always going to be in danger. Terry has always been more cautious than Meech, but lately that caution has turned into conflict. In episode 7, we saw him questioning whether this path is really worth it. Episode 8 might be where he makes a move that shifts everything. Will he stay loyal to Meech or finally break away? Asterisk Detective Bryant is another major player to watch. He's off the force right now, but don't mistake that for weakness. Bryant is like a dog with a bone. He won't let this case go. And the more he's pushed out, the more dangerous he becomes. In episode 8, we could see him crossing lines that even he didn't think he'd cross. He's desperate to take Meech and Terry down, and that desperation makes him unpredictable. If he can't do it legally, he might start playing dirty. Asterisk let's talk about Lucille and Charles, the parents. Their story might not be in the streets, but it's just as heartbreaking. Lucille is trying to hold on to her faith and her family, but Charles has broken something between them that may never heal. And deep down, both parents are realizing the truth. They've lost their boys to the streets. Episode 8 could show us more of their emotional journey, maybe even a final breaking point. Lucille might have to choose between continuing to fight for her sons or finally stepping away for her own peace of mind. Asterisk then there's Lamar. Even though he didn't appear much in the last episode, fans know he's not done. The last time we saw him, he was a ticking time bomb. If he returns in episode 8, it could be deadly. Nobody knows chaos like Lamar. He doesn't play by the rules. He doesn't care about power or money, he just wants destruction. And that makes him the most dangerous man in the game. His return could throw everything off balance. Asterisk we can't forget the new players either. There are people in Atlanta who don't like Meech stepping on their turf. And some of the younger crew members in Detroit are starting to get bold. Episode 8 could bring betrayals from within. All it takes is one weak link, one hungry soldier ready to make a name for himself, and the whole empire could crumble from the inside. Asterisk right now, the BMF world is full of pressure. Everyone is feeling it. Everyone's got something to lose. Episode 8 is shaping up to be a turning point. And the question is who's going to bend and who's going to break. Asterisk now that the pressure is on and every character is walking a thin line. Episode 8 is expected to be one of the most explosive episodes of the season. If there's one thing we've learned from BMF, it's this. When things get quiet, chaos is just around the corner. So let's break down what we could see in episode 8 based on the story so far, past patterns, and a little bit of street sense. Asterisk first off, we can expect a major shift in power. Meech has been trying to juggle expansion in Atlanta while keeping Detroit under control, but it's clear that someone wants his spot. There's a real chance that episode 8 brings in a new rival, either in Atlanta or back home. Who isn't? Just a small-time threat, but someone serious. Maybe it's a crew we haven't fully seen yet, someone who's been watching and waiting for the right time to strike. With Meech stretched thin, his operation is more vulnerable than ever. And in the drug game, when you show weakness, people move fast. Asterisk, it's also very likely that episode 8 features a betrayal. The streets are full of snakes, and the BMF crew isn't immune. Maybe it's someone in the circle who's been loyal up until now, but the money, the fear, or the pressure from the law makes them flip. Think about it, Bryant may be off the force, but he still has tricks up his sleeve. What if he's working with someone on the inside? We've seen him play dirty before, and if he can't get to Meech directly, he might go through someone close. It wouldn't be surprising if a familiar face turns into an informant or pulls a move that changes everything. Asterisk there's also tension building between Meech and Terry, and we might see it reach a boiling point. Episode 7 already gave us hints that Terry's getting tired of Meech's decisions. He's watching the empire grow, but he's also watching the bodies pile up. His girlfriend Markeisha is pushing him to think about the future. and his instincts are telling him something's off. In episode 8, we could see Terry make a choice step back from the game or challenge Meech's leadership directly. That kind of conflict between brothers could create serious consequences, both inside the crew and on the streets. Asterisk, and speaking of street consequences, don't be surprised if a major character dies in episode 8. BMF doesn't shy away from big emotional moments, especially when they push the story forward. With so many enemies circling and tension at an all-time high, someone is bound to get caught in the crossfire. Maybe it's a close ally of Meech's, maybe it's a family member, or maybe it's someone we didn't see coming at all. A major death would raise the stakes and set the tone for the final stretch of the season. Asterisk, let's talk about Lamar for a second. We haven't seen much of him recently, but that doesn't mean he's gone. This is a man who thrives in the shadows. If he's been quiet, it's because he's planning something big. Episode 8 could be his comeback. And knowing Lamar, he's not coming back just to talk, he's coming back to cause damage. He has a personal vendetta against Meech, and he doesn't care who gets hurt in the process. His reappearance could shake up the entire episode. We also might finally see the law closing in hard. Whether it's a new detective or an aggressive federal push, law enforcement has been circling for a while now. The feds may step in, and if they do, they're not playing games. Episode 8 could mark the start of a larger investigation with raids, surveillance, and possible arrests. The heat has been building all season, and this could be the episode where it finally blows up. Asterisk, one last thing to keep your eye on. Meech's vision for expansion may come with a huge opportunity. There's a chance he meets someone in Atlanta with serious connections, someone who could take BMF to a whole new level. But with bigger rewards come bigger risks. Meech might have to make a deal with someone dangerous or sacrifice something he wasn't planning to give up. Episode 8 could introduce this new alliance, and we'll be left wondering if it's a step forward or a trap in disguise. Asterisk, so what should we expect? Power shifts, betrayal, violence, and a game-changing moment that flips the entire story. Episode 8 has all the ingredients to be a major turning point, not just for this season, but for the future of BMF. Nobody's safe. Every move matters. And when the dust settles, the empire Meech built may never look the same again. Asterisk, the BMF fanbase is buzzing right now, and episode 8 has sparked some serious conversation online. Viewers are digging deep into past episodes, rewatching key scenes, and piecing together every small clue to figure out what's coming next. So let's break down the most talked about fan theories and some wild but possible speculations that could shake things up. Asterisk, one of the biggest theories making waves right now is that Terry might flip on Meech, not to the feds, but in terms of leadership. Some fans believe that Terry's patience is wearing thin and that he's going to break away from Meech to start his own operation. The signs are there. Terry's been more cautious lately, more focused on protecting his son and Marquisha. He's watching Meech take bigger and riskier chances, and part of him might be thinking, enough is enough. Episode 8 could be the episode where Terry steps up and says, I want out, or I want control. This wouldn't just divide the crew, it could divide the family. Asterisk, another theory. Detective Bryant is going completely rogue. Fans have noticed that even though he's off duty, he's still lurking in the background, showing up in places he shouldn't be. The theory is that Bryant's going to go full vigilante, using his street knowledge and dirty tactics to trap Meech himself outside the law. Some even think he could work with another crew just to get revenge. We know he's emotional, especially after everything that's happened with his son. Episode 8 might show us a darker side of Bryant we've never seen before, one that's willing to do anything to get payback. Asterisk, and then there's the Lamar theory, which is pure chaos, just the way Lamar would want it. Some fans believe Lamar has been hiding in plain sight. Maybe he's back in town under a new name. Maybe he's working with someone close to Meech. It's wild, but not impossible. This theory goes even deeper. Some are saying that Lamar could team up with Bryant. Think about it. Both of them want to see Meech fall, and both are unpredictable. It would be an explosive combination. If episode 8 brings Lamar back into the picture, don't be surprised if it's with a bang. Now let's talk about the cliffhanger. At the end of episode 7, the unexpected visit Meech received. Who was it? A few fans think it could be K9, back for revenge. K9's been quiet, but we know he's dangerous and has history with Meech. Others believe it might be a major new character, someone tied to a cartel or a larger organization. This theory says episode 8 could be the beginning of BMF stepping into the national game, not just Detroit and Atlanta. That would change everything and possibly introduce new enemies even more powerful than the ones Meech has now. Another popular speculation is around Lucille, Meech and Terry's mother. Some fans believe that she's going to play a bigger role than we think. One theory suggests that she might finally discover something dangerous like hidden money or secret messages and be forced to choose whether to protect her sons or turn away completely. Some fans even think the feds might try to pressure her, using her love for her sons as leverage. Episode 8 might be when Lucille makes a move that no one sees coming. Now, let's get into something more out there but still possible. There's talk that a major character could fake their death in episode 8. Maybe it's Meech himself, or someone in the crew. The idea is that someone goes underground to avoid the heat and prepare for a bigger move in a world where the streets don't forgive and the law doesn't forget. Faking your own death might be the only way to survive. Could episode 8 pull a move like that? It would definitely shake the whole show up and set the stage for a shocking reveal later in the season. Finally, there's one fan prediction that's simple but scary. That episode 8 is the beginning of the end. That from this point on, everything starts to fall apart. Some believe this episode is where Meech starts to lose control, the crew starts to splinter, and BMF begins to collapse under its own weight. It's a dark theory, but it fits the tone of the show. When you're at the top, the only way left is down, and maybe episode 8 is the first step in that fall. Whatever happens, one thing is clear. Episode 8 is going to be a game changer. The fan theories are flying for a reason because everyone feels it. This episode isn't just another chapter. It's a turning point, and when it's over, BMF might never be the same again. Everything is set for episode 8 to blow this season wide open. Power is shifting, betrayal is brewing, and every character is one bad decision away from complete disaster. Whether you're rooting for Meech to expand the empire, helping Terry finally takes a stand, or waiting to see if Lamar comes back with blood in his eyes, one thing's for sure. This next episode could change everything. Now it's your turn. What do you think is going down in episode 8? Will there be a major character death? Is Detective Bryant about to go full rogue? Could the streets of Detroit become a battlefield again? Drop your thoughts, predictions, and wild theories in the comments below. Let's see who really knows the BMF playbook. If you made it this far, you're clearly locked in, so go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our full episode 8 breakdown. Right after it airs, we've got more heat coming. This is more than a show, it's a movement. And we're just getting started.